Boker Tov. Good morning. Stephen Bruck with another Messianic moment. Today is Monday, November 20th, 2017. And past Friday, we had Parashah Toldot. And if you got a chance to see my message on that, I was talking about how Jacob bought the birthrights from Esau, and Esau easily sold it. And was it really Jacob who did wrong, or was it Esau who did wrong? And how that could be an interesting drash. I asked you to remind me, make a note. Well, don't worry about it. I reminded myself. So I want to talk today just briefly about what else can we see in that. Jacob offered to buy the birthright from Esau, which Esau had as being the firstborn. It was due to him. It was his completely to do with as he wanted to. And it was important. It was the religious leadership of the family that came with that birthright. Jacob easily bought it from Esau for nothing more than a bowl of stew. Now, I lived on Dinty Moore stew a lot when I was in college. Good stuff, but still, all in all, I didn't die because I didn't have one that night. Esau was a man of passion, a man of right now, a man of ready, shoot, aim. And he wasn't really going to be a good religious leader. Now, the rabbis try to give Jacob a break and say, well, Jacob knew that, so he was testing Esau. And maybe he was. But the point is, Esau sold the birthright. No matter what Jacob said or what Jacob held over his head, it doesn't matter because Esau sold his birthright. And as such, he lost the blessing from his father that came with the firstborn. Now, we have a birthright. Every child of God has a birthright, and that is to be in God's presence through all eternity. That is our birthright. We generally throw it away before we even know we have it because we're all sinners. And unfortunately, you can't have sin and be in God's presence. That's why Messiah came. But we have that birthright. And those of us who have accepted Yeshua as our Messiah, those who have done teshuvah from sin, who try to do what God commands in the Torah, the best of our ability, and consistently sin less, because you can never be sinless, but you can always sin less. Let me say that again. No one can ever be sinless, but everyone can sin less. And that's what the point is. That's what teshuvah is available to us, because it's about all we can do. And we want to keep that birthright. But salvation is something that God promises us that He won't take away. It's irrevocable. But that doesn't mean we can't throw it away. The birthright to Esau was irrevocable. You couldn't change the fact that Esau was the firstborn. But he threw it away. He sold it for a bowl of stew, a little lentil. Now, I've had lentil soup. It's really good, but still, it's not worth my salvation. I'll starve a little longer. And that's what we really need to be careful of, because the enemy will come to us, as Jacob did, when we're in a moment of weakness, when we have the lure of something worldly, something that we like, and the enemy will say, hey, you can have this. You can have all you want. I'll make sure you get plenty of it. Don't worry about it. You're okay with me. Just let me have your worship. He's not going to ask us for our birthright. He's going to ask us to worship Him. And is He going to say, hey, hi, I'm the devil, the enemy of God. I want your soul. I want you to burn in hell forever. And all you have to do is sign here. No. No, He's going to come to us as a friend. He's going to come to us as a mentor. He's going to come to us as someone who wants to help us, to be kind to us. And in that kindness, He will then seduce us into eating the apple, into signing over our birthright. He will convince us that He's the one that we should be worshiping and looking to by giving us all the wonderful blessings that we think we're getting from God. You gotta trust the Ruach HaKodesh and listen to it, because that's the only way we're going to know the difference. Remember, the enemy, he was there when all this stuff was written too. He was there from the beginning, and he knows the Bible better than anybody, really. And he knows human nature too. And we have to be careful. So we don't want to be the Esau. We want to be the one who says, no, you know what? I'll keep my birthright. You keep your stew, I'll keep my birthright. Thanks anyway. I'll find somebody else, to give me some food. And actually, when you read that portion in the Torah, you'll find out that it says not only did Jacob give him stew, but he gave him bread and water too. So when Esau sold the birthright, he actually got more than what he sold it for. And again, it's going to seduce us. Jacob tested Esau or he seduced Esau. Either way, the point is Esau sold the birthright. We have to be careful not to sell our birthright. We have to watch out for people offering us stew. All right? Be careful. Keep that birthright that you were given. Never let it go. And always remember that you can let it go. It is irrevocable, but it is not losable. We can lose salvation. Read the parables that Yeshua taught. Read about the maidens who didn't buy the oil, so were left out. Read about the tree in the garden that didn't produce fruit. Read about the 3 servants, the one who buried the talent and gave it back. He was given a talent. He was given a salvation. He did nothing with it. All right, we can lose salvation. I'll talk about that some other time. Remind me, make it up, remind me. I'll talk about how we can lose salvation. Remember, God's promises are great, and salvation is not unconditional. All right, we have to ask for it. It's not an unconditional promise. It's an irrevocable promise, but we can screw it up. And we know it will happen. Saul tells Timothy, if somebody's, I'm sorry, I don't think it was Saul, I think it was Hebrews, but in the Bible it says if someone has known the goodness of Yeshua, in other words, been saved, and then apostatizes and goes back to things of the world, don't even try to save them. There's no way. It's worse than if they had never been saved before. And we know in Revelation that there will be apostasy, that most people will turn from God. And it's not because they reject God. It's not because they're rejecting God consciously. It's because they're going to be seduced. It's because they're going to buy the stew. They're going to want the stew, and they're going to take it. So, I love stew, but not if it costs me my salvation. Be careful. Keep aware. Those who have eyes, let them see. Those who have ears, let them hear. Always trust the Ruach HaKodesh to lead you away from the temptations that will ruin your soul. And that's it. So, if you like what I say, please share me around, subscribe, go to my website, messianicmoment.com, subscribe there, buy my books, and thank you for listening. May God bless you today.